So for the third time in American history, the House of Representatives has voted to impeach the president. It was one of the thinnest, fastest, most evidence-free cases of impeachment in our long history. I voted against it, of course. The Constitution says that the evidence for impeachment must be compelling. It says that it must be based on treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors. That's not what this impeachment was about. The Democrats brought forth two articles of impeachment: obstruction of Congress and abuse of power. So let's lay those out. Let's start with obstruction of Congress. So the Democrats are making the case that President Trump obstructed Congress, not obstructed justice. That would be different. To obstruct justice means you are defying a court order, specifically in this case, a subpoena. The Democrats are making the case that they can compel testimony from their subpoenas, but that's actually not true. Only the courts can do that. They're making the case that the separation of powers are co-equal branches of government. That framework doesn't really exist. Their impeachment case relies on this falsehood and misreading of the Constitution and our founders' intent. The second thing, abuse of power. It's a vague term, but here's what the Democrats mean by that. They want to make the case that in asking about the Biden-Burisma, which is corrupt on its face, situation, President Trump abused his power. And they make the case that his intention was to garner Ukrainian influence in the 2020 elections. There's not a shred of evidence for that, by the way. Not a shred. They're making the case that you can't ask about that kind of thing because former Vice President Biden is now running for president. But you have to ask yourself, why wouldn't it be in the public interest to know about the obviously corrupt conflict of interest that Vice President Biden engaged in? Let's not forget what happened. Vice President Biden wanted to withhold aid to the Ukrainian government unless they fired a prosecutor who was prosecuting or investigating a company that his son, Hunter Biden, was on the board of. Now, I'm not the only one who thinks that. All of the witnesses who came through also agreed there was an obvious conflict of interest there. So to say that our president can't ask about that or look into that is absurd on its face. But that's what this case for impeachment rests on. That's why I voted against it. And it's a sad day in American history. And it's a solemn day. Democrats will be patting themselves on the back for protecting the Constitution and democracy. But that's not what happened tonight. What happened was a thin case, a shallow case for impeachment. Third time in American history. I'm not happy about it, and that's the truth about what happened tonight's vote.